Guess we'll talk about wine and dine and some other stuff. I can pull up some news, I guess. Hey, everybody. Getting ready to start the show here in just a couple of minutes. So hop on in, grab your favorite soda, drink of choice. Oh, did Pam texted you about that?
I've been texting your wife today. Yeah.
I said Scott's person to ask about that one. I gave them some ideas. I'm like, orange.
I thought their basket was fine for the most part.
Yeah, they're really particular about that stuff.
I would throw in like some glasses too, like some
I told him like something with those ice cubes.
I said the ice mold too. I said,
mold.
you got the stuff to make it, but like you have the stuff, the ingredients, but you need the stuff to make it. Like you need your ice mold, you need your glasses, you need your bar spoon, things like that. That's kind of what I was pointing towards her.
Because I think it started out as like a wine bucket, like because like people bid on these things.
Yeah.
And then it turned into an old fashioned. I was like, yeah, that'll probably get more bids, because it's like for the cheerleaders trivia thing next Saturday. If you just type in Walt Disney World News on Google, there's nothing. Mickey Mouse imposter sneaks into Disney World, tracked down. That's funny.
Wow. That was me on Halloween.
Oh, man. Guests watching horror as live rat gets eaten in Disney World inside the Magic.
Is the New York Marathon like still going on? Like I'm still trying to figure out like when that race started because like I saw like Phil just finished like an hour ago.
Seriously? Well, I guess I feel like it's midnight though.
I know it does feel like, but like I'm trying to figure out what time does it start at noon? Like,
no, I
don't know.
It's 7:00 there.
I know. I haven't heard about Neil yet, or Katie. Like I was just curious about a few that I knew that were running it.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know if they do like like crazy like staggers.
I don't know. I don't know how that one works.
I didn't track it.
Maybe they don't have good cell service. I do not.
Actually, Marlessa just posted a thing of Katie like 35 minutes ago. It's like super dark and she's still running. So I think they do like start people really late.
Dude, I would hate that. I just want to get it over.
I would like to do that one.
New York.
I love New York.
I applied for it and I didn't get in.
I mean, I wouldn't mind doing Chicago sometime too.
Oh, dude, Chicago almost killed me. Dude, that was the one that was the most painful I've ever done. Oh my God. It was fun. Don't get me wrong. It was fun, but man, I just remember driving home from that. Pam drove us home because, it's about 4.5, 5 hour drive. I just remember, dude, I was like, I might die. Like I was that in pain. I was like, I don't know what happened to me, but this was the worst.
Yeah. Oh no.
I was shaking. I was freezing. And it was super hot that day. It was super hot and it rained. Oh, I'm glad that's probably one and done. Even though, see, I'd like to do it now because it ran right past because Paige moved and the course, she lives on the course now.
Cool. That's awesome.
I didn't even know what was going on. She's like, there's people running outside my house. I'm going to do the Chicago Marathon. Go out there.
That's funny.
So she ran out there, took a couple pictures and came back in. I was like, dang, you're killing me. And I was going to say, it runs through their campus too.
That's cool.
All right, let's do this. I got my unofficial guide to Disneyland.
Oh, nice.
We're gonna have Seth Kabursky on the show eventually here sometime.
Oh, cool. I like that guy.
Yeah, I do too.
I was gonna wear a Disneyland sweatshirt tonight, but I wouldn't run Disney because I'm Wine and Dine.
I was thinking about it, but then I just had this on this morning because I didn't even think about it, and boom. And then I'm glad I didn't know because I was going to put on my Run Disney thing, but it's orange. And this week we play Tennessee, and I can't wear anything orange because we got to rebound.
Yeah,
we gave Georgia everything. They were nervous, man. They were nervous. Almost got them. Oh man, I think my left knee has been popping. Like, I mean, so bad today, so bad. Like it's so messed up. And my wife's right, because when we scored that first touchdown yesterday, I literally jumped out of my chair so hard. I jumped like from my recliner. I think I flew all the way to the TV. I was like, Yeah. And when I did, my knee popped that time, like really loud when I jumped.
Oh my
And ever
goodness.
since it's been messed up. I jacked it up on that.
That's no good.
I know. I gotta control myself. I mean, so I may or may not be running tomorrow. We'll see. Because I mean, like walking on the treadmill today, it was like pow, pow, pow.
That's not good.
I could hear every
the
step.
idea of it, man, is like Bob. Let's change the subject. Let's go live. We are live. Let's start the show.
I got it in the big old brace right now. So it's all braced up.
Sounds awful, man.
Oh man, it's not fun. It's just it's braced up right now. Anyway, okay, let's do the show. On with the show. And why do we run? Because I'm telling you, if I just make it to January, it'll be a miracle. I did find out that hotel I'm staying at in the unofficial guide, it used to be a Ramada Inn.
Okay.
I didn't know that.
So you're for sure gonna do that one now, you think? Save some bucks.
$2,000 savings.
I know, it's no joke, man.
And it's on the same street as yours. It's just it's opposite.
It's on Harbor, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's right at the start. I mean, it's exactly at the start line. Yeah. And there's a I gotta tell you this real quick. Hang on, we'll start the show. But they're in ours. Hang on, where is it? There's something I thought was cool. Hang on, where was it? I was just reading it. Here it is. There is a Hawaiian barbecue takeout in the hotel.
Dude, I think that's the place Monkey Man told us about.
Is it? I don't know.
It might have been.
And there's a heated pool on the roof.
There you go.
And there's a chic bar up there.
Okay. See? I figure for like a race weekend, man, like I'm just like I always gotta do a good neighbor for a race weekend, especially like the way they changed the start line this year. But it's just like I'm just not gonna take full advantage. Like I don't even think I'm gonna be in the parks that much when I think about it. Like because I fly on Thursday. And like that's gonna be like a half a day, you know. Then Friday, like I gotta kind of go to bed early. Well, not so much on the West Coast, I guess. But
I'm getting there super early on Thursday though, because I'm taking off at 6. I'm getting there at 8:30.
They keep changing my flight time a little bit.
Bums me out. Me too. I didn't think about that. All right, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it on the show. That'd be fun. Okay, here we go. Did I hit the button? I think I did. Yep. Well, hey, everybody. Welcome to the BOGP Open Line for Sunday night, November 5th, 2023. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com. And, of course, one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Sunday night to you, and welcome to darkness. That's right. We're catching up with all you Europeans over there. It is daylight. No, it's not daylight time. It's standard time here in the States now. First reality check. It's that first evening after we changed the clocks back, and it was glorious last night getting that extra hour of sleep. But right now, I feel like it's midnight, and it is currently 6:07 Eastern, or no, Central. It's wild. And my dog was sitting at the bowl getting ready to be fed at like 3:20 this afternoon. I was trying to explain to Riley the golden doodle, dude, we moved the clocks. Get away from your food bowl. It was wild. Anyway. We're going to have a good time tonight taking your calls and talking Disney. And my buddy's here and your buddy and everybody's buddy. And we're going to all be getting together here at Marathon Weekend. We can't wait because marathon runners, you are now on the clock. Not to get you nervous because we're going to talk about a Wine and Dine race weekend because that is just wrapping up right now. But your buddy of mine, Scotty G up in Michigan. What's up, Scott?
Hey, Mike. You know, you said that date, November 5th. And in my head, I said November 5th, 1955. I know you're not a movie guy, but do you know what happens in cinema in a particular movie on November 5th, 1955?
Because I saw it on Twitter this afternoon.
Oh, was it on Twitter? Oh, see,
I saw.
Can't even stump you.
I just saw somebody post something from back.
What happened?
It's something on Back to the Future. I saw the DeLorean. Yeah,
when Doc Brown hit his head and like came up with the flux capacitor, which is what creates time travel. So. Every time I hear November 5th, I'm drawn to that date. I don't know why. But so when you said that, I was like, oh, yeah, today's the, Back to the Future, Doc Brown. But yeah. Happy to be here on a Sunday recording with you. Over the weekend, I won a friendly wager with our friend Wade, which, by the way, congratulations to him and all the wine and diners. That's people doing New York City. You are all crushing it this weekend. I'm very jealous.
And by the way, before we started recording, not to cut you off here, but we just had a discussion. Apparently people are still running, and it is dark in New York City. This marathon goes on past dark. I had no idea.
I think it's a 5-day marathon at this point. Like, I don't know what's going on.
They may go till Monday. I mean,
Yeah.
26 might not be enough. I know people do 50Ks now. Maybe they got lost. I don't know.
I don't know. But it looks like it's still going on from what I've seen. But it's crazy. But won a friendly wager. My football team, my school took on Wade's school, and you were in the group chat. The wager was shaved ice in Maui. So Wade owes me shaved ice in Maui now. So let's start planning it, my friend.
I will say I started gagging when you started talking about condensed milk on a snow cone. That kind of had me confused.
That's what people do. I went to like a very like hot spot for shaved ice where like, that's where people like will go out of their way to go for it. Everyone in front of me was getting the condensed milk on it. Yeah. And then some people would get ice cream underneath. And I was talking to George about it. He asked me, like, did you get it with ice cream? I'm like, no, I just get shaved ice straight up, man. Like, I thought it was weird, like the other way. So now I got to try it with ice cream because that's why I told Wade we're going to do ice cream with the wager. And I won. So he owes me one in Maui.
So it'd be like a snow, because I've never had like shave ice, like, Hawaiian shave ice. I mean, I've had snow cones, Missouri snow cones. But I've had the Kakigoris at Epcot, getting it back to Disney.
That's pretty close. That's pretty close, man. I love those things. It's like my favorite snack.
I know. Dude, we walked past that and you didn't get one last time we were down there. And it was like, it was painful. Unbelievable. Completely. But anyway, but ice cream that just seems like a weird combo. There's some things I don't know if I could.
It seems like a weird combo, but like I'm all for experimenting, and I kind of kick myself for not experimenting, but I'm going to do it next time. Wade owes me one, so like I'm going to do it. So
yeah. So also shout out to the Wine and Dine racers. Hey, miracle of all miracles, Scott, because we were following this on social media, the 5, the 10, the half. I mean, how about this? Good weather. I think all 3 days of a race weekend.
Great weather all 3 days.
You know what that means for marathon weekend? We are out of luck.
Most likely, because I swear Wine and Dine usually has the worst weather from rain, mostly rain. Rain is like the big thing for Wine and Dine, and then we've had some hot ones too over at Wine and Dine. So. But rain is always in the picture, and I don't think I saw any rain this weekend. So big shout out. Love the medals, Figments. We had a Be Our Guest themed, right, Mike? The 10K was Be Our Guest. Kind of kicking myself for not hopping on a plane and doing it, But it was fun to watch. Congratulations to everyone. And just love seeing the photos. And if you're, it'd be kind of weird if you're listening to this and you did it, but because you're probably at the party celebrating. So enjoy the party. I hope to see some more photos of the awesome party.
So let me ask you about that, the post party for Wine and Dine, because this is the one that has it. Is this the only of the 4 weekends that have a post party? It is, because Marathon doesn't have one, and Spring Surprise doesn't have one. Yeah, and Princess doesn't.
Princess doesn't either. Nope.
Why is that? Is that because because it's kind of directly tied to a festival? You think?
I think so, and I think if you think traditionally of Wine and Dine weekend, it was on Saturday night, and it led into a party. And people love that because I loved it, right? You finish the race, they give you a beer or a glass of wine. Like I
remember when you finished out in front of Epcot, like in that, basically it's kind of like by preferred parking now, like where they park the the electric cars. Like you went over there and got it. You could either get a glass of wine, like a little flute, you get a beer, or you get like a soda.
Yeah. I mean, so like with your bib these days, you have like your shirt on it and like they rip it off to get your shirts at the expo. Well, you had like a drink voucher because I remember one year I did it. I registered late. I didn't have a name, so everyone thought my name was Drink Voucher because that was the only thing that was on my bib. So
you get a drink voucher.
I was Mr. Voucher that night. But so you would just go in, they tear it off, boom, you get a drink right afterwards, and then you go into the party. I missed that so much. So I think everyone traditionally loved that, right? Like night race, you do the party. And then they changed it to the similar structure that we see now for all the other race weekends. And I felt like they probably felt like they had to keep it because there was such a high demand for the party. So that's probably why there's only the one party. It feels kind of weird in a way, right? Like you wake up at 2:30, 3 in the morning, you run, and then you're going to go back to a party at like 8, 9 o'clock and go to like midnight or 1, you got to take a nap somewhere in there. I'm just saying. But it is a lot of fun. I've done the party before a few times.
That's a good point. I mean, I'll be honest. I've never gone to the party since they moved the race from night to day because, again, I'm not really a night person, but I would go to the party because you finish there. Right? I just remember like back when it was a night race. This is when I was first starting to do Run Disney too. You would finish, go back into Epcot, And I believe they had like all your stuff, your bag check in World Show Place. And you went into World Show Place and kind of got your stuff because you had to do that because you're going to the party. You needed to change your clothes. So you kind of go into the bathroom and kind of like, wipe down, throw on your change of clothes, throw other clothes in the bag that you ran in, and then just go have the party for a few hours and then call it a night like at 2 a.m. It was everybody stunk. You know what I'm saying? You didn't feel bad for stinking because it was all stinky runners.
In 2015, that was the race where like they shut it down early, remember? Or like they cut the course because it was warm. There was like the storm. So we all went to like the Jostin Center, remember? We had that epic photo of us sitting on the floor, waiting it out. And then they cut it to like 6.5 or something like that. But I remember like, I think the party went till 4 a.m., Mike, and I was there. I closed down the party.
Crazy.
And I had a garden grill like ADR at like 7:30 the next morning. That was rough. But it was awesome though.
It's the stuff we do at Disney.
And I had one of the best food items in my life. It was moose because that was great for moose.
Wait, you had moose?
No, I didn't have moose, but so that was the year because of that delay. Like our friend Moose, Moose, he had a party only ticket, so he got in there. And there were no runners yet because the race hadn't started. So he basically had like an empty World Showcase to himself.
I've heard
So he
that.
was just going like booth to booth to booth. Like he had everything like game planned. So like I get there, he's like, Scott, yo, you got to go to Morocco. You got to try this thing. I don't remember what the thing was because I was so tired and so hungry. It was the best fried thing in the world. I wish I knew what it was. And I've tried everything in Morocco every year since then, and I can't match it. So either like I just like hallucinated and thought I had this amazing thing, or it just was so good that one time and I've had it again and it just doesn't hit the spot. But I just remember that was the greatest tasting bite of my life, whatever that thing was in Morocco.
We're just gonna go with it was awesome and it was there and it
existed. It was there. I just wish it was still there. I really do.
So Andrew's asking here in the live chat. He's tuned in on Facebook. So thanks for that, Andrew. Is Wine and Dine always the same weekend as daylight savings time? I believe it is. I mean, it's most of the weekends it is.
Yep. So it's just because daylight saving is always like that first Saturday or Sunday morning, however you want to look at it, in November, and that is when Wine and Dine is. So, yep.
That is right. It is a fun weekend. It is challenging though. If you are I will say this just because this is my perspective. I'm a huge football fan, and it's high school playoffs. And so we had a big playoff game. And there's been years I've gone down. We've had football going on here, and like I've had to bail. Like I just duck out after the 10K and come home for the game. So I've just decided I can't take the anxiety. And so like it would have happened again this year. We had a playoff game. We upset this team. We just rocked their world. Now this Friday, I just got to say real quick, we play the 2-time defending champions in large schools. We're the defending champion in the division lower, the second to largest school. So it's going to be a rocking, and we get the home field advantage this week because we have the higher seed. So I made the right call. This Friday is going to be insanity at the H. Oh my gosh. 2 defending state champions head to head this is basically playing for state, but like 4 games before we would go to state right there because we're in the same district. It's crazy. Best football in St. Louis right here in St. Louis. Anyway, so
because it's an awesome weekend.
It is an awesome weekend.
It's probably the one I do the least because I love actually Springtime Surprise is going to be the one I do the least, but I love Princess. That's my favorite run weekend. Marathon weekend is just classic in its own. And like Wine and Dine, I mean, it has a pretty good identity. I missed its original identity. I was just talking about the night race. I just missed that so much. And then it was so great to go down because it was always like the weekend. I think it was usually like the last weekend of Food and Wine. And now Food and Wine starts in like July. It's just like goes on so long. So I feel like it's lost some value there a little bit too.
And also kind of where I stopped going to Wine and Dine here a few years back, there was a point in time where Wine and Dine race weekend aligned with, it was let's see, so it was Veterans Day weekend, and I don't think it's Veterans Day weekend this weekend, is it?
No, it's next the 11th. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. And it was Jersey week. It was always over Jersey week. I mean, the crowds over Wine and Dine race weekend there for about 3 or 4 years were just so insane. Like you couldn't even, it was like New Year's Eve at Epcot, like the whole weekend.
Yeah.
And so it was just, you could not enjoy Epcot hardly. And it was just, I mean, it was fun to be there to run the races, but the parks were packed. I mean, that weekend, it was insane. So that's kind of when I was like, and there's other stuff going on. So I just kind of bowed out of that one. But if they brought it back as a night race, there's something about a night race. It's harder, I'll say, as a runner Like if you really want to run it, because like your nutrition throughout the day, because you really got to watch what you're eating. Because I mean, at Disney, like you're there to eat, you know what I'm saying? But like you can't go scarfing down Ohana at 4 o'clock and then go out and try to bust a half marathon at 11.
See, and I'm the opposite. Like
Oh my god!
when I do a training run at home, I run at like 8 o'clock, and then I mean that's when I do my running, or
See, I
when I
gotta
do a
run
run.
empty stomach. I can't. I run on empty stomach every time. I can't. Oh man, I'd just be. I'd be messed up. See, but it's what you do. Like, yeah, you're right. I mean, but that'd be an advantage for you. But because I'm
an unorthodox runner. Let's just be real. Like I'm not. I'm very unusual when it comes to that.
Mess me up because like I'm trying to make calculations in my head. Okay, it's 3 o'clock. Okay, the race starts at 11. Okay, how many hours?
I mean, I know it was just the 5K, but like when they did Springtime Surprise about the Animal Kingdom, like the Everest 5K back, like I was at Disney Springs like an hour and a half before that race started, and I was like having a beer, and I was like, oh, I should probably hop on the bus and get to the race.
Killing me. All right, so we'll take your calls. You want to talk about anything Disney? We got the Christmas decorations are in full swing at the Magic Kingdom, and it looks great. We could talk about that. What are you looking forward to this holiday season down at Walt Disney World? I think they're even playing the holiday background loop, which is
all right.
Let's see here. We got 407-413-9395. That's 407-413-9395. All right, let's get this first call in here, and I believe it's Dennis in Indiana. Dennis, what's going on?
Hey, Mike, Scott, how you doing?
Doing great. How you doing?
Hold on, let me mute my TV here. Hey, I got a mini trip report if you got time, which, given the quantity of calls you've had so far, I think you have.
Yeah, go for it. What do you got?
Well, I was down. Hold on, I got to quit messing with my TV remote. Yeah, I was down to Disney World and Universal the 13th to the 25th of last month. I arrived on Friday the 13th for Halloween. Yeah,
that's on theme there.
Yeah. So first off, I've got some bad news. I think you'll appreciate this. I've been trying for 3 years to take a picture of the Saturn 1B rocket that's at that rest area in northern Alabama.
I know it's gone.
Yeah, they tore it down the end of September.
I watched pictures of it coming down. That's so sad. Yeah. I know. They're going to put a new one up though. They're going to replace it.
Well, good. Mm-hmm. I didn't know that.
Yep.
So anywho, I started out, I spent 4 nights at Endless Summer Dockside, Universal, which was a nice place. It's big, lots of rooms. My only complaint was that there's not a lot of storage space, and the Wi-Fi signal strength was abysmal, even though there was a Wi-Fi access point in my room.
Interesting.
It's not like I was trying to do work. I just wanted to check my email and make dining reservations for my trip to Disneyland in December. and when you got to sit in a certain place in the room to get a signal, that's not good.
That reminds me of Walt Disney World, though, like a decade ago. I mean, remember that? Because I mean, Dennis, you've been around long enough. Do you remember like when we were talking about packing, your router, and you'd bring like a mini router on your vacations and stuff like that, so you had Wi-Fi in the room? I mean, we did that back then. We did that a decade ago.
Yeah, and I still can't get a cell signal at Pop Century. So.
Caribbean Beach. There's times where I'm like, with my finger up, like, okay, which way is the wind blowing? How can I get some Wi-Fi in this room? Yeah, totally.
Which is crazy, not to go down on this tangent, which is crazy when there's so many things that you need to depend on that for virtual queues and such.
Exactly.
Like you're staying on site, you're paying money to Walt Disney World, right? Like you're using their on-site hotels, and like you want to use services that they're providing, like for these Tron or Guardians of the Galaxy or whatever, and you can't even do it. Like that's frustrating.
Take my money.
Yeah,
I agree. You make us use this app, and you don't give us the Wi-Fi to make it accessible. I mean, come on.
Exactly. Right. So how was Universal? What were some highlights?
Universal was great. Went to Halloween Horror Nights on Sunday night, which was fun as always. Found a great photo spot to take pictures of the Velocicoaster. I'll share this with everybody because I'm not there all the time. If you go back, Popeye's Bilge Barges, there's a walkway behind that goes right along the lagoon. And on one side, you can get beautiful pictures of the Hulk. And on the other end, you can get pictures of the Velocicoaster. And there's one point, if you point in the right direction, you can see them coming right at you where they make that barrel roll over the lake.
Nice.
So
That's
it's
awesome.
it's coming right at you, and the whole train does a spiral right in front of you. It's really cool, especially at night. I was taking some long exposures, and it was, they came out pretty well.
Awesome.
So did you ride it?
Of course, yeah.
A lot of people say it's the best coaster in Central Florida. Do you agree with that?
I definitely agree with that. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
I've heard people say it's better than any like Cedar Point coaster too. Like Cedar Point is like a huge regional park around where I live, and they're known for their coasters. I've heard that that's better than anything over there. Like they're like even some of their top ones over there.
That's good to hear, because I've never been to Cedar Point, but I know its reputation. It is the top coaster park in America, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And but the Velocicoaster, you got positive G's, you got negative G's, you got hang time. It's just for I'm not a big coaster guy, but I love that coaster.
That's great.
That is great. I gotta give that a shot. That'd be fun. I need to get back over to Cabana Bay. I love that place.
Yeah, I already booked my room there for December of next year.
That's a fun place. I mean, that is retro. I love it.
Yeah, everything in that bathroom, all the toiletries.
Yes,
I remember watching commercials for those.
Same. Give me some Alberto VO5.
That's right.
Exactly.
So did you hop over to Walt Disney World after that? Then what resort did you stay at, Dennis?
Yeah, on Tuesday I went to Walt Disney World, and I did Halloween, a double Halloween party Tuesday and Thursday.
Oh, nice.
Which was a lot of fun. I got to ride Tron both nights on the because they have a separate virtual queue for the Halloween party.
Cool.
The only problem was the first night I had. My they didn't call my queue until the second parade, about 11:15 or so, and on Thursday they didn't call it until the fireworks in between the two parades. So
oh no,
yeah. So but no, I really enjoyed that coaster too. It's way too short, but it's a lot of fun.
I do like that one. Yeah, it is quick, but I'm telling you, at this age, I'm fine with quick. It's good. I'm fine.
I would like it to be longer. Personally.
Yeah, no, you're younger. I mean, come on, you just turned 4. We're both hitting the milestones, but you're a decade before me, so whatever.
Hey, I'm older than both of you. It's all about the inner ear.
That's right.
And my thing is like the time commitment, like all the work you got to do to ride that coaster, right? The virtual queue, you wait, like, and I know it's a great queue and all that, but then like I want the payoff to just be a little bit longer, like. That's why like Guardians, I think, works really well. I think Guardians is a really good length coaster, even though I would still like that to be longer. I'm just selfish like that.
Oh my God, you don't want that thing to be any longer.
I do. Oh,
Lord.
But yeah, but then you compare that to Tron, you're just like, wow,
perfect length.
Yeah, it's a long coaster, I think. I mean, for what you're going to get today. I mean, today you're not getting probably any longer than that. That's pretty long.
Yeah. I mean, my only complaint about Guardians is I wrote it 3 times, and every time I got the same song. And it wasn't my favorite song. It's Everybody Wants to Change the World.
Oh, that's my favorite one.
Tears for Fears. Yeah. So real quick, let me ask you, do you think that it goes like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like Cars? Or do you think it's like on a randomizer? Or do you think it's even random at all? Do you think it's just what do you think truly the randomness is with the songs? Do you think it is all 5 of them every day, all the time?
I've never had the chance to write it multiple times in a day. So I
mean, because you got the same song. You wrote it 3 times in one day and got the same song all 3 times.
No, different days.
One trip. Okay, one trip. Okay. I was wondering if maybe they do it like every.
It was 3 different days, but still, I mean, totally different times of the day.
I think it's tied to like ride vehicles. So if I think back to Rock and Roller Coaster, those limos all have like a different like license plate, like on the back, like on the last car seat. Yeah, and like I knew there was one song that I really liked or like one sequence of songs on Rock and Roller Coaster I really liked, and it was tied to a certain license plate number. So sometimes I would like wait for that certain license plate, like, hey, can I wait for the next one or whatever, and like look for that. So that's how Rock and Roller Coaster works. like 99% sure. So I'm guessing Guardians might be something similar. Like it might be like ride vehicle, maybe. I don't know.
See,
It could be.
yeah. I'd never noticed that, but that makes sense. That'd be an
You
easy
just
way to do it. Yeah.
plug the chip with the song in there,
Yep.
and that's the song that car gets. Yeah.
That's totally, yeah, that 100% makes sense. Yeah, I didn't think of that. Oh,
All right. I got to do a couple of things that were new to me. Number one, some friends and I went to the Shikisai sushi restaurant in Epcot,
Oh,
that was excellent.
did you get the boat?
No, but we got the bridge.
You got the what? I didn't know there was a bridge.
The bridge is marked as for 2 to 4 people, and there were 4 of us. So at $100, that turned out to be $25 each.
Okay.
It was all excellent, and we each ordered a second item for ourselves, just because, well, we're all going to be sharing this bridge, and that might not be enough. So we were all well fed by the end of the evening.
for sure. That's
And
good.
the interesting thing is, I ordered a glass of sake, and the server came out, and she puts down a box on the table, and she puts the glass in the box. Then she takes the bottle of sake and she starts pouring it into the glass, and the glass fills up and it starts overflowing into the box. So there was almost as much in the box as there was in the glass.
Interesting.
And I didn't ask about that at the time, but I looked it up, and there's not really any theories about that, other than that it's a show of generosity.
Okay. Interesting. Seems like it's a waste of sake almost. But
Oh no, it's not a waste of sake. You got to drink it all.
So you can drink it out of the box then, right?
I actually poured it out of the box into the glass.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
It's like at McDonald's when the fries fall out of your, the fry box into the
Your
bag.
extra fries.
Basically,
Yeah.
it's like bonus fries.
I like it.
I've never heard that though. That's interesting, man.
No,
This is
yeah,
generous.
it's very Japanese restaurant. If you're not attuned to the Japanese accent, you kind of miss what the servers are saying. So, but yeah, the food was excellent. The service was excellent. I highly recommend it if you've got large pockets.
Awesome. How was would you say the tables were all full? Like, was it pretty good, pretty busy in there?
It did seem to be pretty busy. Yes.
Okay, good.
I'd
I
be
like
in
to hear
trouble
that.
in there.
One other thing, Moana opened while we were there. And so we were there the first night it was open, and I really enjoyed that. It's the story, or the journey of water. So it describes how water moves from the clouds to the ground, across the ground, into rivers and ponds and into the ocean, and back up to the clouds. But at each point in that journey, there are interactive water features. Like there's a bunch of streams of water, and you run your finger through there, and it makes a sound like chimes. Another
Very
place
cool.
you can raise and lower your hand and make the water rise and lower with you. And then there's a third place where that's multiplied by several times, and you get a group of people. I mean, we were doing the wave, and the water would move along with our hands. But it's all interesting. It's all well done, and it's beautiful.
It looks beautiful. You could tell that they had Instagram, and social media, and how people are going to share these photos and make them vivid and pop on, social when they design this. But to me, when I've seen this, and I haven't got to see it in person, I'll see it in January, is I think what they did was they took things like the queue in Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, and just things smaller, little those interactive things that they did, what was that, 5, 6, 7 years ago, and probably use lessons that they learned there. Because remember in Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, wasn't there water in there, and like it played music if you ran your hand through it? Like do they still? I haven't been in that queue in forever.
It does.
Do they still do that? Does that still work? Because I know they. But I mean, I think they took that. Now they're just like using that and advancing it and making it into more of a full scale thing. And I love when Disney does that. Like, okay, this worked on a small scale. Let's make it a little more grand and expand on it.
Right, and it's got every stop describes what water is doing in that phase, and so you got some edutainment in there, and you got water everywhere for the little kids, and there's also the laminar stream fountains that kind of show you the path of the water. You know, it may be slowly flowing through a stream, but there's these big streams of water jumping down that stream, showing you the path of the water. So it's the only complaint I had was one day I was there and it was very windy, and the laminar stream due to the wind, did not quite make it to the other end of its path. So people standing next to that rock were getting very wet.
It happens. And
Yeah.
that's part of the water cycle too.
Dennis, I was gonna ask you, were there any like I think with Moana Journey of Water, this is an obvious one, but was there anything new you were hoping to like capture with the lens? Because I know I love talking photography with you. Was there something new you were trying to photograph on this trip?
Well, yeah, I didn't know what to expect, but the big topiary, it's not really a topiary, but it looks like a topiary of and I don't remember her name, the goddess of life and water and everything that Moana rescues at the end of the film. That is beautiful, and the best place to photograph that is right where they have the photo pass guy set up. So
of course,
their guy gets preference.
You're like, hey, can I get on there for like 15 minutes, please? Can I reserve this?
Yeah. When do you go to lunch?
Yeah.
Well, fortunately, the first night it was like the rich people extra magic hours. So there was no photo pass there.
Yeah, that's funny.
That's awesome.
That is funny. No, and I'm glad that it's kind of the hooplas died down, that I've heard people can just kind of walk through it and enjoy it. And you mentioned something too. I love that Epcot's getting something like this, that when kids go back to school and their teacher brings up the water cycle, now they'll have like a little frame of reference with that. You know, at Epcot, I saw that, you know, we saw this, it's hands-on, you know, it's firsthand experience, you know, and they'll be able to make that connection, because that'll make, again, it's not like a teacher, but you know, it's just how it's brought up, you know, it's like the learning will be deeper and it'll connect more. That's good stuff. And it's also entertaining.
Right. I mean, that's what Epcot was built for.
Exactly. We forget that sometimes. I mean, what does Guardians teach us? But hey, it's fun. I mean, you gotta have both. And apparently it's Tafiti. Tafiti?
Tafiti. Okay. Thank you, Vera Mike.
Vera Mike rocks on. He's got it, man. Point for Vera Mike.
And the other thing, again, I always love the music at Epcot. And there was a band from Quebec. Actually, they're from Ontario, called Le Raftsmen. But that was just their Epcot name. In the rest of the world, they're called Le Rats de Swamp.
Okay.
Their Epcot name sounds a little bit better.
But again, French Canadian, fun music. And I told them, you know, I've never heard a French Canadian band that I didn't like. They're all lots of fun. There's another one playing there right now, BOGP. So if you're heading to Epcot in the near future, check them out in Canada. That's pretty much the short version of the trip.
That sounds fun.
Well, I did see Impressions de France twice.
Oh, yes. There you go.
Yeah, they show it the first 2 hours of the day and the last 2 hours of the day.
At least it's starting to get some more love, you know. That's
what's that say for, like, is that for the old people, like, to get up super early, and then for, I mean, at the end of the night?
I think it's the perfect way to wrap up an Epcot day, though, right?
Actually,
like,
it's not a bad idea, though.
You know, you have a nice meal somewhere in Italy, Germany, wherever, and then you stroll through to France and you watch the greatest attraction at Walt Disney World.
God, that music, that organ play. It's just awesome.
I'm going to listen to it tonight.
So good. If I didn't have to hear
I need to remember to carry some Kleenex with me, because I'm always in tears with that music.
It is. It's just so emotional.
That old couple walking along the rocks with the dog.
Yes. Oh. And then, like, we should just do an episode on this, analyze the whole show, Mike, sometime. But, like, I don't know why, but I love, like, at the winery when the guys, like, finish up the day and he opens up uncorks that bottle of wine, but, like, you can hear, like, the drips, like, in the background, just these small drips, and then a little boop. Oh man, it's the best.
I think we need to do like a Mystery Science Theater 3000 or whatever.
Yes, we do.
Sunday night.
Well, it's interesting. You know, you mentioned the old couple with the dog. The scene right before that is a wedding.
Yeah.
Yes.
And my mind said, okay, here they are 40 years later.
Oh, you think that's
Love that.
them? See, I never
love
made
I
it.
that
don't think so,
connection.
but that's where my mind went.
Yeah.
See, this is why we need to do the show.
Yeah. It's perfect.
Okay, now I got to watch it again and make more connections.
Yeah.
And I just want the pastries. Oh, pastries.
Oh, yeah.
Now I just
That
want to
big
go.
plate of eclairs right there in
Yeah.
the middle.
Well, I mean, I don't have eclairs. I'm in St. Peters, Missouri, but I do have a ton of Little Debbie Christmas cakes upstairs. So I might just have to make that happen right after the show.
Now I always talked about like how I'm like unorthodox, I'm unusual, but like that was like, oh, it's my psych up music. Like when I would start work, that'd be like the first thing I'd put on was like the Impressions de France. Dude, it would just like get me like psyched up for the day, like and motivated. Like I don't know why. Like, but man, I just love it.
Oh, that's why we're all friends.
Yeah, well, I've got a CD with the organ symphony on it, and that's one of the two pieces of classical music that I'll crank up. The other one, of course, being the 1812 Overture.
Nice.
Yep. That's so good too.
Speaking
Speaking of that though, did you hear like we got a tease of the new nighttime show at Epcot? Did you see that video, Dennis or Mike?
No.
I saw the clip, but I didn't get to listen to it because I was like I was on hold or something with Disney, and
it sounded very Illuminations like, I will say.
Thank God. Yes, and it's original music, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
but it's not going to be the whole thing. So you're still going to have like your Disney songs in there, like Harmonious did, and like Happily Ever After does. But like the main piece was very Illumination sounding.
I can have compromise. I can do that. Like I'm fine with that. It's it's Disney. They are going to have.
I love the
Give me
Disney songs
original
versions that they had in Harmonious though. So I hope they're kind of similar still. Like they were so good. Oh
man, I gotta listen to that. Yeah, I meant to go back because I favorited it on Twitter, but I was like,
no,
I can't listen to it.
So they go into like the studio, like it's the first one. So they have like a choir and all that, which like that sounded okay to me. That was like actually my least favorite part of what they showed. But like the first little clip they showed, like with this orchestra in the studio, man, this sounded just like Illuminations, man. I promise you. Like you got to go find it after this.
Now I'm pumped. Oh yes, we're gonna have to break that down too. Yeah.
Geez, I'm not going to have an annual pass until next year. Darn.
Oh, man. Great. I'm gonna have to renew
and Disney's going to show it live on YouTube when the first night. So
it's at December 5th or 6th.
December 5th. Yep.
December 5th. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Awesome. Well, sounds like an awesome trip, Dennis. It sounds like you got Disneyland next month. I remember you were kind of talking about that. So yeah, can't wait to hear about your Disneyland trip too.
I'll be sure and report on 5 days with a bunch of friends, and we've got everything scheduled. We're going to do the holiday tour so we can get special reserve seating for the Christmas parade. We're doing World of Color dessert party.
I love
just all kinds of fun.
That sounds great.
I just got the unofficial guide to Disneyland this afternoon in the mail because we're gonna have Seth Kaburski on the show here shortly, talking about it. And I'm just telling you, man, Disneyland is so I haven't been there in the holidays. I would lose my mind. I mean, I can't wait to get out there for the race. But I just been like, I've had this for like 2 hours and I've already just like, I've destroyed it. I'm like looking at my hotel because I'm staying off site. And just like, oh, I can't wait. It's just Disneyland is so cool.
Mike, our first trip was over the holidays at Disneyland. So we were like, just imagine how blown away we were like with the small roll display and everything. Like, oh my gosh.
Oh man. So Dennis, give us a holler when you get back from that. We want to hear all about it. Yeah.
And my photos from November 2018, when the park was all Christmassy, are starting to trickle their way into Flickr. So
cool.
Those of you who know where my Flickr is, keep an eye open.
One of my favorite pages to visit. It's so good. Yeah.
All right, Dennis. Well, we appreciate talking to you. You guys stay safe out there. Thanks again.
All right, you two the same.
See you, buddy. Talk to you later.
See you.
Bye.
I always like talking to Dennis. Oh, his photos, man, are so good.
And his audio quality is always
his audio quality is top notch.
Better than ours. I get jealous.
Yeah.
All right. We have our next caller on the line. Hey, who's joining us? Thanks for calling in.
Hey guys, this is Matt Wachowski calling from Lancaster, Pennsylvania. How's it going?
Hey, it's going great. Thanks for calling in, Matt. Appreciate it. Say hi to Scott.
Yeah.
Hey, Matt.
Hey, hi. Hey, Scott. How's it going?
Good. How you doing over in Pennsylvania?
Good. Yeah, enjoying Pennsylvania. It's nice and cold off over here. My dog's barking.
That's good. We're dog friendly around this place.
Guys to say hi. I haven't called in for a little bit since our last trip, so I thought we had some time tonight. I'd call in and just say hi to you guys. And it's been fun to hear, your trip to Lonnie. and Scott. And so we actually were talking about possibly doing something like that for my 40th in about a year and a half here also.
Yes, do it.
You are the trendsetter, Scott. Everybody's going to head out there for the big 4-0. It's going to be a thing.
I love it. You know,
Yeah, we're already talking about going to Maui at that year anyway. So we're like, what if we just do Alani and then we go over to Maui with my in-laws? Because we were talking about going with my in-laws. So we're talking about kind of maybe doing that as a trip.
I like that idea. So
it was amazing.
Yeah, so Alani was amazing, and we found there's enough to do on Oahu for 8 days too. Where I just wanted to take some of the stress out, where we weren't island hopping for that first time. But like I'll tell you, I had the itch. Like I really wanted to go to Big Island or Maui while we were out there. But we found plenty to do, which is why we didn't do it. And we liked just having Alani kind of like as our home base for the whole trip, you know, so that we didn't have to unpack or anything like that. We just had Alani right there. But I love the idea of splitting it up, doing some Maui and Oahu at Alani. Like that sounds perfect to me, Matt.
Yeah, because we were talking about initially maybe doing like Disneyland and then going to Maui, kind of doing that. But I thought maybe we'll postpone Disneyland to maybe like August or to September or October for like fall break, and we'll do the summer. We'll do like just like Alani and Maui. So kind of going that direction right now.
I like the direction because like I just wanted more time in Hawaii. It's really what it came down to. So the idea of like splitting it up between like Disneyland and Hawaii is good, but like I'd rather just maximize my time in Hawaii, you know, because I mean it's a long trip to get out there, right? So I would just focus like Disneyland on another trip and just like do the Maui Alani combo visit and all in one. I think I like that idea a lot.
Okay, cool. Then I think we'll go that direction. The other thing I wanted to just run by you guys too is I know it's a little off topic, but we have our 60-day ADR opportunity coming up here next week, I think it is. And one of the big conversations that my wife and I are trying to decide on is, do we want to book an ADR if we can, of course, with Space 220? So I wanted to get your guys' opinion on that because I'm leaning. I was like, I want to have that experience. It sounds like a lot of people are kind of like, it was a cool experience to do once. You should check it out. So that's my direction I'm going. But she's like, I don't know if we really want to do an ADR for that, like to reserve that. Do we really want to try for that? I don't even get it at all. But I just wanted to kind of get your guys' opinion on that to help us decide if that's something we should really try to focus on when we're making our ADRs at 6 a.m. next week.
No, I get that.
What do you say? Because I mean, I say yes because it sounds like you want to do it, and I don't think anybody once you get in there regrets it.
Yeah. So Matt, it sounds like you guys haven't been there either, right?
We haven't been to Space 220 now.
Yeah. So that's that makes my answer easier. Is like a definite yes. Like you got to experience that, right? Like I don't think it's like I think it's still hard to get to. I'll be honest, because I just made ADRs on Marathon Weekend, and I saw it pop up maybe like once or twice. I'm not trying to discourage you. Like I still want you to go for it and kind of do that trick right where you're at 60 days. Try to do it for like towards the end of your trip because you might have a better chance of booking it at that point. But yeah, definitely do it. It's a cool experience, right? Like I'm sure you've seen some video of it, or like it's kind of hard to stay spoiler free, but I won't spoil it right here. But there's a cool thing that happens when you get to the restaurant, and just the atmosphere in there is super cool too. So a little pricey for sure, but I think it's worth it for the experience to do it once.
Yeah. Okay, cool. That's what I was thinking too. That's the direction I was going.
And you can tell your wife that the guys in the podcast told me to do it.
Well, blame it on us, but I think your wife would enjoy it. The thing is, it is a very unique experience, right? It's more than a meal. It's an experience. Yes. The whole, because it's almost like a show, because it's from the time you check in, you're going through a whole experience all the way until you walk out of the restaurant at the end of your meal. So, but the thing is, you're wowed by that the first time. Like the whole first time, you're just like, whoa, this is amazing.
Yeah.
And the reason we say like you don't have to do this every trip is because it is kind of more on the expensive side. And the second time, you're going to know exactly what's going to happen. Like the first time, you're blown away. The second time, you're not going to have that jaw on the floor, kind of experience because you've seen everything. You know what's coming.
Yeah. No, that sounds great. We're also pumped for. Since we're going in January, we're going to do 6 days, and we're actually going to do 2 days in Epcot this time because there's so much that's like has just come out or will be done, I think, by the time of January, right? So the new pavilion or the new like World Showcase area, that's going to be done. We were just talking about also the new connections area, right?
Yeah, I think so. I haven't been following that too much, but I think I know there's still like progress going around there, right? I don't know if it's like a locked in date or not, but yeah.
Yeah, they say it's supposed to. I mean, I've heard that it's supposed to be done by the end of this year, but who knows what.
But you have to. We were just talking about with Dennis the new nighttime show that's coming too, so you'll have that because that comes December 5th. So yeah, lots to do at Epcot.
Where are you guys staying when you guys go down in January?
Wilderness Lodge.
Oh man,
nice.
Perfect for the winter time.
Yeah,
that's great, man. Because if you have,
we're just gonna miss you.
Hang out by the fireplace. Oh, I love that place.
We never stayed there. We never stayed at Wilderness Lodge. It's actually the first time we're going with just the 4 of our immediate family. We usually go with our in-laws also, or even like brother and sister-in-laws and their families kind of thing. We usually do a larger trip. So we're really excited, just the 4 of us, to go for a long trip and also to get Wilderness. My wife, when we realized we could book it, my wife was like, "Oh my gosh, this is going to be amazing. Maybe they'll have like some Christmas stuff left over, because like that's where you want to be. Like of any place, you want to be at Wilderness Lodge in like the winter. If you're gonna, if you're gonna do it during that time of the year."
When are you checking in?
January 14th, we're checking in. Yeah,
it's gonna be close. It's gonna be close because like
close, man.
Yeah.
I remember Marathon Weekend one year. I saw them. I just hung out in the lobby at Pop Century and just went on live like Instagram and watched them like dismantle the tree, which would have been like around January 9th, 10th. So I don't know.
What's the makeup of your family like? How old are the kids?
Yeah, I have a 7-year-old son and a 3-year-old daughter.
Oh man, they're gonna have
she'll
a blast.
She'll be closer to 4 at that time. It's almost her birthday, so, and then just my wife and myself. So, yeah, we're super pumped. We're booking with you, Mike. We actually, if you remember, I emailed you about, we did the Disney math, and we realized that we could go down early and not go to Caribbean Beach because we had the Disney Visa discount, like it was like 35% off. So it was like what we were planning to spend already at Caribbean, with the discount now at Wilderness, is basically the same amount. And
Disney
we
math
by doing actually one night at Pop first, and then we're going over to Wilderness for the rest of the 6 days that we'll be there.
Disney math, and it gets me every time too. I mean, I taught that to my 6th graders in public school sometimes. I didn't do that, no. So here's the other thing. I don't know, because you're talking ADRs here, and this guy right here is the master of ADRs.
I was about to ask about it. I was going to ask an ADR question.
I'm just going to throw one thing out just to consider, because you're at Wilderness Lodge. Make sure you at least have a night for Geyser Point, because you're liable to get a really nice evening in January at Walt Disney World.
Okay.
In Pennsylvania, man, you're socked in January. Like, I know, because you're like St. Louis. Like, the weather is going to stink up there for the next 4 months. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to want to step outside except run the trash to the curb. You know what I'm saying? Like, you might have a night down there where it's 70 degrees in the evening, and you can have a nice meal at Geyser Point, and it's right there, and you can just walk right back to your room. The kids can go swimming. So when you're making your ADRs, man, it's hard to don't forget about Geyser Point. It's a gem, and it's right there on site.
Okay.
So I just want to throw that in there. We're good. Scott, what are you gonna say?
I was just gonna ask, because like you're speaking. Go ahead, Matt.
Oh, and really quick, I was gonna say that I think that we're gonna try to even eat all the restaurants at Wilderness, because they all have such a unique kind of experience as we understand it. Like, we've never been to Wilderness Lodge, we've never been to any of those restaurants, but they all sound awesome. And so I think we're gonna really try to get into each of those restaurants while we're there at some point, because they are so unique, it sounds like.
Yeah, Whispering Canyon is, if you're an eater like Scott and I are, dude, you could tear up Whispering Canyon. It's definitely
and Hoop-de-Doo too. I don't know if Hoop-de-Doo is on your list, but like you're next door.
Oh man, I do.
We talked about that. We were talking about the Hoop-de-Doo. We were like, we were trying to figure it out, because we're like, I think that the Hoop-de-Doo might be at Wilderness Lodge, and we looked it up and we're like, oh no, it's like not there. So is there an easy way to get over there? Like, is there a boat or anything like to get over there to do Hoop-de-Doo if we wanted to do that?
They just they just started running the boat.
They started running that boat again. Oh, that's so good.
Last month, so you can just hop the boat. It is so fun. That show, Scott just did it too, and the food is dang good.
I'm gonna do it again in January.
Fried chicken. Are we?
I was gonna do it before you got there.
Dude, I won't be there. Oh man, I love that.
Just come down early. Who needs to celebrate Mallory's 16th birthday? Just come on down earlier.
I'm leaving the morning after her 16th birthday. I'm already getting it, because I'll be gone for like 2 weeks.
Yeah. No, that's fun. But Matt, I was gonna ask. Yeah, so like I love ADR planning. You're speaking my language. So like, is there another thing that's on your radar outside of those Wilderness Lodge?
You're talking to the ADR genius, by the way, right here. So.
Well, that's what I wanted to ask. I was going to ask that as like a follow-up question to Space 220. Space 220 is like the top one for me, at least. And then I wanted to see what you guys thought about at that time of the year, January, or just if there's anything that we're missing as far as like, is there anything that you guys would say, like with a family of 4, like I just told you about, that's, 2 smaller kids, like we're talking about maybe doing Topolino's breakfast, try maybe do that. Maybe that we're talking about maybe possibly doing that because like the first day we're getting there late on Saturday. And then we're taking Sunday just to kind of like acclimate, just like go to Disney Springs, chill, unpack, whatever, and then do our first park day on Monday.
Okay.
So we were thinking about maybe trying to do Topolino's for brunch that Sunday, like that's like our activity on that day. So we had something for that. So that's the only other thing I think you're talking about as far as like another ADR we're really going to try for. But Scott, do you have any other recommendations?
I love that. So I love the one you're saying. And you said your first night's at Pop Century too, right? So you could just skyline over to Topolino's too, which I think is an awesome idea.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and the Skyline are shutting down like 2 days after we get there too. So that's really cool that we are going to be able to get like one night of Pop and actually get to use the Skyline or the one night.
There we go. Yeah. No, I would just say like, Matt, you're liking the expensive places like I do. So so Topolino's can be pricey for sure, but I think it's a great character meal. I don't know if you've done it or not, but like I love the outfits. No. Okay, the outfits in there are so great, and the way the restaurant is designed, there's like, I think this kind of underrated thing. I think they're really smart with the way they designed the layout of the restaurant. Like it's roomy, so like when the characters come by, like it's easy to get up out of your table. You're not like bumping into the seat next to you, like how some of those character meals are like really jam packed. So I think it's really nice. We're getting the photos. The outfits are like just like fabulous. Those are like my favorite character outfits, and the food is good. It's a win-win-win.
Scott's really into the French thing. Like, they got French outfits on at Topolino's, and he's not into impressions of France. Man, he needs to move to France.
Yeah, and not that I'm trying to encourage this. I don't know if you like a breakfast old fashioned or not, but their breakfast old fashioned is really good. I'm just gonna say, if it's brunch, it might be good.
Whenever you talk about your old fashioned, Scott, I'm like all about that. You're talking my language there. Okay. The other place, what was it? There's another place over like the boardwalk. I think that you said had really good old fashioned too. Like Mike, you talk about how it's like really dark in there. I can't think of the Keg and Compass maybe.
And Compass over. It's at Yacht Club. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's
okay.
Good. It's good. That's a good place to go eat. Now the kids. Here's the thing. That place has really good food. There's not much atmosphere in the place. Like the kids will probably fall asleep. Yeah. I mean, it is. They have good food. But there's not much, it's a restaurant. That's probably the most boring restaurant as far as Disney restaurants. But it's solid. It's good food. The kids will be off the wall there. They'll be off the rockers.
I kind of like 50s too. Like, I don't know if that's on your radar or not, but like 7 and 3-year-old, like that could be kind of fun going to 50s for one night too, though.
50s?
Yeah. It's not going to be like the best meal ever, right? I mean, you're going to have like your sampler platter, right? The meatloaf, or what is it that you always get? You kind of get like sampler platter usually, right?
Yeah, pot roast and meatloaf and what else? The fried chicken.
I just know, like when I took Emily, I think it was when she was 3. She was just like, "What is this place?" Kind of like even like, why does this? Sadly, why does the kitchen look like the one at our house right now? Because our kitchen was so outdated back then.
Look at that, you're retro.
But like, I don't know, it's just kind of a fun atmosphere. I would like try to find something like that, like the Whispering Canyon, like Mike was kind of talking about too, is like kind of like a riot place. I think the kids would have fun with too, for sure. I'm excited for you.
And then actually, my son is right here beside you. He wants to say hi to you guys. His name's Parker. Say hi.
Hi.
Hey, Parker. What's going on?
Parker.
I'm good.
Good. How's school going this year?
Huh?
How's school going?
Good.
What grade are you in?
Huh?
What grade are you in?
First
grade. Nice. All right. Well, do what your teacher says.
Mike used to be a teacher also.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Kids won. I had to quit.
I'm excited so like I'm 7 now and I'm tall enough for walk and roller coaster. And my other favorite ride is Tower of Terror, and they're right beside each other.
Whoa, Scott. This kid's daredevil, Parker.
Yeah, I'm liking Parker, man. Rock and roller coaster. Like, they're gonna be excited to have you backstage for that ride. I'm just saying.
Parker, that's awesome. I mean, there are 17-year-olds that won't ride those rides.
That's awesome.
It's
And
nice
this
to meet
kid
you,
knows his
Parker.
stuff. He's studying up too. We've been watching the Behind the Attractions. That's that show on Disney Plus, and they're having really fun with that. So he's storing up facts for when we're in line. I think he's going to be telling us all kinds of facts for that too.
Perfect.
And that's what these vacations need to be all about. You know what I'm saying? It's about families having fun together, rallying before the vacation, talking about it, the excitement, the anticipation. This is it. I mean,
and that's going to make the family behind you like even more engaged and excited when you're in line too, hearing Parker rattle off all these facts.
That's right. Absolutely.
I love this. And
I appreciate the advice, guys, and it's always good to catch up with you. We'll give you a call after the trip, do a little quick trip report.
We'd appreciate that. Hey,
shoot us a message too on how those ADRs go. I'm very curious
totally.
if you can get what you're after.
Yeah, give us a holler. We love talking to you on Sunday nights. Just give us a yell. Don't be a stranger.
Yeah, I will.
All right, so, Parker, do what your teacher says this week.
He already hung up. See you, Parker. See you, Matt. But they gone.
Big Parker hit the button.
Mike, do you want to know something?
What's that?
I got something to share real quick.
All right.
I goofed up, like a Disney planning guy. You know, like I made a mistake.
For ADRs for Marathon Weekend?
Just for Marathon Weekend trip in general. So the plan all along was we're going to go down December 30th because that's their second week of winter break. So we're going to do like New Year's Eve and just hang out, do all this great stuff a few days before Marathon Weekend starts. I purposely skipped Dopey so that we can spend more time as a family. Don't worry about races, you know, and all that. Just try to have like a cool Walt Disney World vacation over the holiday. So I had a one-day ticket already for New Year's Eve because we're blocked out during that time as with our annual pass through DVC.
DVC
AP? Yeah. So we're blocked out on the 31st. So like, well, that's all right. We got that one-day ticket still, you know. So we're good. So we'll get down on the 30th. We'll chill. Maybe we'll volunteer, give kids the world, do New Year's Eve, and then we'll start doing some other stuff after that. Well, in the conversation with Wade the other day, he was like, yeah, well, we get down on the 3rd, but we're blocked out until the 4th. I'm like, what do you mean we're blocked out? Like the blackouts end December 31st. I went to the calendar. Sure enough, he's right. So I'm blocked out for the first 5 days of the trip. I have no tickets.
You're chilling like a villain for I'll be seeing lots of pictures of the gardeners in the pool.
Right? I know. So like I goofed up. So now we're like throwing out all these ideas. We talked about going on the Wish even, you know, like for those 3 days. But the sailing is kind of weird. It's if one went off on the 1st, we would totally do the Wish, but it sails on the 2nd and then wouldn't come back to the 5th. And then it's already like the next day we're doing a half marathon. So I didn't know about that. So we talked about going to Kennedy or doing some other stuff. Or maybe even buying a 2-day ticket. Like maybe we'll just buy a 2-day ticket. I don't know. So I really goofed up though. Like I totally thought we were going to be fine because we've never been blocked out. The DVC the last date is always the 31st. I don't know why it bled into the first 3 days of the year.
Man,
I goofed up, Mike.
So like 10 years ago, and this is going to kill people, but it all came back. You're talking. So that's a bad goof but it isn't as bad as my goof, but it came back around like 3 years ago. I bought Paige an annual pass and she already had one.
Oh, I know how it came back for you, but man, that is painful.
That one year we were renewing our annual passes.
Yeah,
right?
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
We went up to the booth and it was the girl's last day of her college program. We were the last people she was ever going to interact with. She renewed our 3 annual passes and comped them.
Yeah.
We got like $2,000 worth of annual passes.
It's insane.
What happened was, this was when I was first like starting the podcast. This is probably 12 years ago, 13. I mean, it's right a couple of years into the podcast. It was just Paige and I down there. And like our passes had expired, like or were expiring. And I don't know why, like maybe I put it under like Paige Rallman. Her last name isn't Rallman because she's my stepdaughter. And her put under her real name. Anyway, like it wasn't in there. And so I had to end up getting her a new annual pass. I'm like, dog, I could have renewed that thing or good. Like it was good for like another 6 months. Anyway, I was like, oh man, I was depressed for I wasn't depressed, but I was like, oh,
that's a goof.
Yeah, but it was like, it's one of those things, but
what
do you do? I mean, but here, I'll tell you this though. You're going to be in Florida.
I know.
This is actually a great podcast topic, honestly. Yeah. Because you're going to be in the sun. I mean, you're going to be in the warm weather. You're going to be, where are you staying?
Well, now we might want to change resorts because we're at French Quarter. So we started at Caribbean
Not
Beach
bad.
for the first 2 nights, then we moved in the French Quarter. I got an email the day I found this out that the pool is going to be refurbed. So the French Quarter pool is going to be down. Now, yes, I could go to Old Man Island and use Riversides, but that means everyone is going to be using that pool between the 2 resorts. So it's going to be busy, you know? So now like, I'm like, well, did we go to Coronado now? You know, like we like those pools over there, you know, awesome resort to hang out at. So lots of things to think about.
So
But I might just buy a 2-day ticket too.
Yeah, you could. It's 3 days, 4 days.
It's 4 out of 5. So the first day, I'm definitely not going to do. We definitely want to volunteer to give Kiss the World one of those days
That's
too.
fine.
So Emily, because we want to, and she gets some NHS hours, you know, National Honor Society. So maybe one of those days we go volunteer. Wade and I talked about golfing one of those days too. Maybe,
Yeah,
you know. So, but then we were just talking to Matt about all those new Epcot experiences. Like, I want to see all that stuff. And then as you know, when the races start happening, you're not in the parks at night. You know, like, when am I going to see that new show?
That's true. I'm probably not gonna see the fireworks show.
Yeah. So like, I feel like, well, I gotta be there. I gotta go see that earlier in the trip. So I don't know. Lots of things to think about, but it's a fun thing. It's a fun topic, like you were saying, because as someone that goes as much as we do, like, we don't need to be in the parks. You know, we can go swimming and like, we can go. I thought about buying like a water park pass one day. Maybe go to Blizzard Beach.
Blizzard Beach, because it'll be open said typhoon.
But it just depends on the weather too. So like, I'm not going to commit to that now, you know, because like, what if we get down there and it's going to be like in the 50s or something, you know?
The bad thing is too, I mean, you probably wouldn't do this during the races, but like you get that discount during the races.
I know. I know.
Super cheap. I mean, it's kind of
Yeah.
a sucker's bet because especially during marathon, you got to run all those miles.
Yeah. So
you probably wouldn't want
I don't know. It's kind of like a blessing though, like, right? Like, you won't feel the pressure of having to go to the parks, but like, this is the one time I actually kind of wanted to go to the parks was the thing.
That's what I'm thinking, because like it'd be so chill. Like you'd be so chill. Like you could go, you know.
But we just did that. Like our last trip, like Alani, that's what Alani was.
That
you know?
is
like,
true.
And like hanging out at the beaches in Oahu. Like that was chill.
With no theme park.
It's actually exactly what Emily said. As I told her about the goof, she's like, I was like, well, we can hang at the pool. She's like, Dad, we just had like a 9-day pool vacation. It's what we just did. Like, it was Emily. It was Emily that said, like, I kind of want to go to the parks, you know, and like she never says that.
Dude, you're buying a ticket. You're buying.
Yeah, basically. I mean, we're going to Disneyland the next weekend too. That was the thing. So.
I know. Oh my gosh. Oh, so yeah.
I don't know. I'll let you know. I might need to change rooms though, so I'll let you know.
Let me know. Yeah, we'll figure it out. Okay, so we're way past the top of the hour, so we got to wrap this one up. But we're going to table this, and we'll continue this next Sunday night and get feedback from our listeners. This is a great. What would you do in Scotty G's situation?
I like it. I would love to hear what people would do. Yes, you're an annual pass holder. Do you buy a 2-day ticket? Yeah. What do you do?
It's so hard, man. I would hate to buy a ticket if I have an annual pass. I would hate that. Oh,
and then I looked at the upgrade amount. It's like I would spend more than like a 2 or 3 day ticket just to pay the difference to the Incredipass, you know. So it's crazy. Yeah.
All right.
Well, yeah. Let's talk about it next Sunday.
We will talk about it next Sunday. William says go to Universal.
Yeah, I thought about that too. That's on the table too. Like there's so many. I love hearing William's feedback. There's so many options, right? It's Central Florida. A lot of things you can do. I thought about going to Vero Beach, but they're booked.
What about Busch Gardens? I went there once. That was kind of fun.
In Tampa. Yeah. All right. Let's hear it next Sunday. I want to hear what people got to say.
Look at this. I like this. We are definitely talking about this next Sunday. We need calls next Sunday about this. This is gonna be so much fun. Yeah, go to Busch Gardens. I mean, yeah. This
William's like my new travel planner, man. He's got it all figured out.
It could be an opportunity to have the best trip ever, like, and to really think outside the box.
Yeah.
You know, this could be fun. So we'll talk about this next Sunday and have a good time. And
awesome.
I guess that's a roller coaster, the Iron Gwazi. I know who that is.
I hope it's a roller coaster. That'd be weird if it's just like a merry-go-round or something.
Well, that's like his cousin, the Iron Gwazi, who wrestles in the WWE or something. I have no idea. All right, Carolyn, thank you. Carolyn says she loves these discussions, which we appreciate because I'm glad you do. Because our wives love that we have them down here and not up at the kitchen table. Anyway, so we are going to jump out of here and do this again next Sunday night. So join us for the part 2 of What Will Scotty Do Before Marathon Weekend. So join us at 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central, where it will be even darker here in the States as we record this show on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. We're going to have a good time talking Disney, taking your calls at 407-413-9395 next week. So join us for that. Don't forget, our show is brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. This is going to be a big week. So come on over. I'd love to help you plan that next Walt Disney World, Disneyland, Disney Cruise Line, or Adventures by Disney vacation. Man, I can't wait to get out to Disneyland. You want to head to Disneyland? Let's do it. Let's get out to the West Coast. I'll help you plan that trip. Walt Disney World, Disney Cruise Line. Love to give you an onboard credit to have some fun on that ship or on your port adventure. Get some drinks, whatever you like. Just don't pay the tips with that onboard credit. I'll find you. You got to have fun with it. That's my rule. But just swing by the website, themagicforless.com. Mention the podcast, and you and I will work together. And I promise to get you the best deal possible. And here's the best part: absolutely no cost to you. So check them out today over at themagicforless.com. Please also use our Amazon affiliate link this holiday season. I'm getting ready to buy an artificial Christmas tree for the studio right behind me. And I'm going to get it at Amazon and use our link. It's going to be a retro Christmas tree. I just can't find it. It's going to have tinsel. It's going to look all 50s. So if you're doing the same,
I'm getting like Happy Days vibes.
Oh, dude, I can't wait, but I can't, like, I'm looking for like the perfect, it's got to be like, it can't be super tall because it's in a very big room. It's got to be like
a 3-foot tinsel tree.
I'm searching 4 foot. I think that's about right. And I want to put tinsel on it. I found some of those bubble lights, but they only come in 7. So I'm going to get like 2 strings and just put them on the front.
Okay.
Because you can't see the back. I'm cheap. And I'll put regular lights in the back, the silver tinsel. Yeah, this is my whole plan so I got like 2 weeks to get this done. But if you're on Amazon looking for stuff like this, beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. It really does help us out when you have to buy stuff that you really don't need, but it's fun. So use that, please. And also our patrons, you guys are awesome. Thanks for supporting the show. You get that bonus show every week called Mike in the Midwest, where we'll be talking about this stuff this week. Patreon.com/beourguestpodcast, starting at just $5 per month. So come on over for that. Give Scott a follow on social media at Epscott, EPSCOT, Instagram, X/Twitter, and Threads. I'm in the same places at BeOurGuestMike. We'd both love to talk to you this week. We'll have the shows Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So join us for that as well. All right, we're going to get out of here, and we'll be with you throughout the week, but we'd love to have you back here this Sunday night. So 1 week from now, let's get back together, God willing, and have a good time talking Disney. So until then, you guys stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you real soon. All righty. Oh, popcorn strands. That would be fun. Alfred, I just had to close it because we were way, way past time, and we had longer calls tonight. So just next week we'll get you in there, bud.
And Scott, as someone that despises Michigan, I think this is just an overreaction, man. I really don't understand what the big deal is, but I love seeing them like under the microscope, man. I think it's great, but I think it's a serious overreaction. It's just what every team does, you know? Like, I just don't understand.
Every team does cheat. This is going to make the greatest movie, though. I mean, like, it's so unbelievable. Like, it is like the next, like when he was in that gear on the Central Michigan sideline, if that was him, like he got on their gear. I'm like,
I know.
How does he get the gear, and how does he get on? He's standing next to the coach with those like Ray-Bans.
It's insane, but I love seeing it though. I love to see it.
November 5.
Oh man, but yeah. I know. I read something from like a kind of reliable thing that Harbaugh might get suspended by the university tomorrow. So we'll see if that comes out.
I mean, something's got to happen because those other Big Ten coaches just have to be so bad.
Yeah.
I mean, something has to happen. It's crazy. I don't know. I mean, that's
it's crazy.
It is. Like, I tell my wife, I can't believe it. Like, it's so far. Like, it's not even believable. Like when I saw that on the sidelines with the Ray-Bans that record, and he's in the gear.
I know he's in the gear. I know.
How do you get the gear? And like how the whole thing is, if you're on the sideline, how does somebody not say? And it was a night game, and he's got on sunglasses.
Was the night game against Michigan State? It was in East Lansing.
Yes, it was against Michigan State. And I'm like, how does somebody not say, who's this guy on our sidelines? We've never seen him before, and he's got on sunglasses that have a blue dot. Like,
I know.
How does somebody not say that?
It's
so crazy.
It is so crazy. So at first, like when the story broke, because I have a really good friend, like one of my best friends is a hardcore Michigan guy. We just kind of laughed at him. Like, this is unbelievable. Like, how's this even being broken news? And now every day, like something new comes out of it. It's just crazy. Like,
I mean, okay, picture this. Like we're all in marathon, right? We're standing in the crowds before the race starts. And like we're just all hanging around talking. I mean, we kind of all are from everywhere. We have people we don't really know that closely. But if somebody rolls up at marathon weekend before a race and is in sunglasses with a blue dot, I'm like, who are you?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we're not even a
Dude,
coach.
that could actually, I would never wear anything in Michigan unless if Emily goes to school there, but that could be a good marathon weekend costume though.
Oh,
Just
dude,
dress up as that
Riley-
cat. Yeah.
Riley would eat that up.
I know he would love it. Might have to look into that. Might have to look into it.
I'm stealing your signs.
Yeah.
I could have a sign and you could be stealing them.
Yeah, there you go. Oh man, might have to do that.
We need to do that for the races. That'd be hilarious. We totally gotta do that.
All right,
right.
then Liz just texted me. Lasagna is ready. So
Pam had muscatcholi from the place across the street.
okay,
I
nice.
Taco Bell. All right, I'll see you.
So I'm in Nashville the next few days, so I will not be able to record tomorrow. So hopefully,
You're going tomorrow?
yeah, I leave in the morning for
flying?
work. Yeah,
Flying? Oh man,
I'm waking up at 4 a.m.
You going to all those honky tonks and stuff again?
No, I am going to the Bluebird Cafe. I don't know if you know what that is. It's like a really hard to get like reservation where they have like a songwriter or whatever like plays to a small venue. It's like it's signed up for a virtual queue basically. Like they sell out in like 5 seconds. So we got into one of those. So
oh man.
So I will be doing a little honky tonking, I guess, which as you know is not my scene.
I've never been to Nashville, and Mallory really wants to go. Like we were gonna go this year, but it was her homecoming because that was when we played.
My coworker has never been. So I might try to take her to Broadway where like all the honky tonk bars are, you know, that's where I was like last year. So I might show her some of that, but I kind of want to meet up with Joe at one point too, because he lives like right in the town where my company works.
Wait, oh, Joe
Fickus? Yeah. And it's the 10th anniversary of the Lizards, like like on Tuesday. So we might try to get together, do a photo or something, you know.
That'd be cool. That'd be cool. All right, well, have fun.
Yeah.
And
so I think Pam and Ricky should be able to help you out.
Yeah, I think they're here this week. I hope. Yeah. If not, we'll figure it out.
All right, sounds good. I'm sure I'll talk to you. I'll send you some honky tonk stuff.
Yeah, do it, and have a safe flight.
All right, thanks. See you. Bye, everyone.
All right, see you.